So I'm doing something new with this channel and I'm gonna take it to a new direction. I've said this 100 times before and hopefully this is the thing that I can keep pursuing. Recently I've been getting into music. I've been making music, I've been playing guitar, I've been playing drums, I'm planning on getting a bass, and I'm planning on making actual tracks and uploading them on the internet. So what I've been planning on doing with this channel is I'm gonna start reviewing rock albums. Recently in my Discord, I asked some of the people who are in the server what albums I should review and what they recommend. And one of them recommended me to do Silent Alarm by Bloc Party. So I want to give a shout out to Candy Corn's The Shizzle Manizzle for Sizzle, because I don't want to get demonetized. And so yeah, I've listened to Bloc Party's tracks a couple of times. I'm familiar with their work. Am I a huge fan of them? Not necessarily. I do appreciate the work and I do think they're a really talented band. So I feel like this is a good start with these reviews, something that I am currently a little familiar with. So I've decided to listen to the whole album multiple times and I just wanted to give my honest opinions on it. So to give a background to any of you guys who aren't familiar with the band, it's an indie or dance punk band from London, England. So the members are Kelly Okiriki, who does the vocals, the lyrics, and he plays rhythm guitar, Russell Lissack, which plays lead guitar, Gordon Mokes, who does backing vocals and bass guitar, and Matt Tong, who does the drums. So how they got big was they started releasing these singles and started sharing them all over. They shared a copy of She's Hearing Voices to Steve Aoki. Yes, the guy that does NFTs, and the lead singer Franz Ferdinand. I do not have his name on top of my head, I apologize, but they started spreading the singles to other record labels and they got signed because people were just impressed with how She's Hearing Voices sounds. And then they ended up releasing the EP, the Bloc Party EP, which has some of the tracks from Silent Alarm, and they have some unique tracks that's exclusive to that EP. Am I going to review the EP? I'm not, but I feel like you should give it a listen because some of the tracks there are completely different, and there are some tracks that I do enjoy, which I would say that if you like this album, then you're probably gonna like the EP. It's a good place to start. So before I start, there's another fun fact. Apparently, Kelly had beef with Oasis members Liam and Noel Gallagher. The two parties have been going back and forth insulting each other's music. And apparently, both bands were supposed to headline a tour, like a festival, and Oasis just didn't show up, which caused their demise, and Kelly ended up having like the last laugh, saying that it was a shame sarcastically that they broke up and all that. I think the two still have beef. It goes really deep, but I just don't want to go into that deep. You know, I don't want the video to pad out for too long, but yeah, I see my cat just chilling in the background. To start this out, I want to make clear that each track has to play an important role with the whole album. The whole purpose of singles is to get people to buy the album. So what a person does is that they get the album, they load it in, and they listen to the singles first because that's the songs that gave the band the most promotion, right? Like you see music videos, you hear it on the radio and all that. I feel like the other tracks should carry the whole album too. So if you have good singles and bad tracks from the album, then the album is horrible because you're not having a good listening experience. I feel like you should experience the album in its entirety when you do that. If you just want to listen to the singles, that's okay. Just get a compilation album with all other singles or just listen to it on Spotify, you know? I just feel like you should give the entire album a chance and you should get immersed in the whole project, right? Which is why I'm excited to start this, because apparently with the first track, Like Eating Glass, is not a single, which threw me off because I remember hearing this on Tony Hawk, like American Wasteland, and this is like one of the most popular songs in Bloc Party's discography, and I'm surprised that it's not a single because it is such a powerful start. I'm listening to it and it's like an emotional roller coaster, right? Just makes you feel anxious, and I like that. I would like that a lot. The lyrics are really impressive, but Kelly does a really good job expressing those emotions to the listener. Like, it's just so amazing. The drum work, the bass work, everything is just solid. So it just gets better after that. With the next track, that's Helicopter, right? And of course, this is another popular track that a lot of people knew about through Guitar Hero. So if you play Guitar Hero 3 co-op, you unlock this song, I think, in the middle of the game. And a lot of people just had their experiences playing Guitar Hero 3 through co-op, because I remember I got into the game because my friend, he threw a birthday party and we played Guitar Hero. One of them had the guitar controller, one of them used like the PS2 controllers to place the shoulder buttons. It was just so much fun. It's so different playing than compared to playing single player, you know? When I played Guitar Hero on Xbox Live back then, people just kept playing the song because of how popular it was. Either that or the other helicopter song. Like, I think it goes, I'm in the band, but I don't know. People who play Guitar Hero just loved helicopters. But yeah, to actually talk about the song, right? Like I said, drum work, amazing. You know, I'm gonna keep talking about it. I'm gushing over the drum work, right? It's so technical, but it just doesn't sound obnoxious compared to like something much more heavier, because Bloc Party is known for their clean tracks, right? But when it gets heavy, it gets really heavy. Essentially, the song does get busy, like near the bridge, but they've done a good job making each instrument stand out. What I also do like is that they also layer guitar tracks. Like, I know some bands, especially like metal or death metal bands, like they tend to like do different melodies with the rhythm in lead guitar, and like if you listen on each earpiece, it just sounds so weird. But Helicopter isn't one of those songs, makes it sound weird. Like, you listen to both guitar parts and they just synergize each other so well. Funny thing about this song is that people thought it was a criticism towards George Bush, because he makes quotes like saying that stop being American or you should be more European, right? But the song is literally talking about Kelly's own childhood, and he said that it frustrates him that people got the message wrong. So I just wanted to bring that up. Okay, so after that, we got Positive Tension, and yeah, like, again, drum work is so technical, it's amazing. Bassline kicks ass, it gets you hooked in. And yeah, the lyrics tend to repeat itself, but it's not a negative criticism, you know, because usually with so many dance tracks or like pop songs, you know, like repetition is what gets people hooked the most, because they want to like get you to understand what the message is saying. And I feel like with that case, it just gets annoying because it just felt like it just feels fabricated. I have mentioned lyrics before, but the lyrics for Bloc Party's tracks, they're actually don't feel fabricated. They don't feel pretentious. They don't feel annoying. And let you get immersed with what Kelly is trying to tell you. There's so many messages that the album does, and it's like, I don't hate it because it's not sappy. Bloc Party isn't known for being sappy, but their music is sappy, and I just like that. It's a whole contradiction, and that's what I like about it. Also, when like the song gets to the bridge, right? It just starts picking up, and it's just like one of my favorite parts of the song, because it just goes crazy and it just gets really intense. It's just so satisfying, and you feel rewarded once you get to that point. But yeah, it's a solid song. I really do like it. Like I said, it's another single, you know. Funny thing, the song is actually about like Pop Idol, or American Idol for people who live in America, of course. Like, it's making fun of how like people are just too boring and they have to like dramatize everything, you know, make it like a sob story to like get viewers hooked up and get people invested, when in reality it should just be the music that gets people invested. Okay, so for the next song, we got Banquet. I'm gonna let the song speak for itself. You should really listen to it. And it's another popular track. You probably either heard it through Life is Strange or SSX, but they did have a remixed version on Midnight Club 3. Speaking of the remixed version, they re-released the album, but they remixed like every track there to promote their tour that was happening like a year after the album came out. And one thing I do like about the remix is how they get the like beginning riff of the song and make a complete new, like a whole new melody of it. It just feels so weird listening to the original song because of how good it just sounds, you know? I'm going off tangent of the album, but I said listen to the song. It just delivers. It speaks for itself. You know, it's catchy. It gets you pumped up. It's just amazing. I just love it so much. After that, there's Blue Light. The song is a bit soft. It's quiet, but the drums is still technical. It's just like a love song talking about intimacy, you know? The one thing I do want to mention is that, like, I feel that the softer tracks in this album are pretty weak, right? Because Bloc Party is known for their upbeat tempo, their clean but heavy tones, and I feel like some of the tracks here got me lost. You know, like, it just took me out of the experience of listening to the album. It took me a couple of tries to actually get into the album, but I do enjoy it. But this isn't a huge criticism. If you like there's quieter, softer tracks, that's you know, enjoy that, you know, but it's not for me. I personally don't hate it. I don't hate it, you know. I'm gonna go more deeper into that later on when I summarize it. So after Blue Light, we get She's Hearing Voices. It's technically not a single on the album, but this song is what got them big, right? It got them a deal, and it's just so catchy. Like, you listen to it and it just starts going crazy with the drum work. It just, I don't know, I just keep gushing over it. I'm gonna keep repeating it. And it sounds like a common trope, but it's just not a lot of people talk about the drums. No one talks about it is because you really don't appreciate the drum track unless you play the drums yourself. Because ever since I started playing it, I've started listening to music like in a different way. I started paying attention to the drums more, and I started appreciating it a lot more. Like, when it gets really technical, I really do like it. Like, now some of my favorite songs have amazing drum tracks, and like, I just have some here. Like, She's Hearing Voices is just solid track, you know? Okay, so after that, we got This Mud and Love. It's mellow. It's another love song that talks about how nervous and tongue-tied one gets when they fall in love and all that. One thing I do like about the track, though, is when Kele just interjects himself and he goes, jump left or jump right, you know? It gets me, kind of gets me back in the album. Next track is Pioneers, and just like This Modern Love, it's pretty mellow, it's pretty soft. Lyrics repeat itself, but like I said, it's not a negative thing about the album, you know? The song is pretty much a criticism on Western civilization and their blind optimism and courage trying to reform and stabilize the rest of the world. Especially how, like, Great Britain was in war with Afghanistan at the time when he made the album. It's much more significant in America too, because we did go to war with Afghanistan around that same time. And that's why a lot of people thought that, like, some of the tracks was about American politics when some of the stuff happened in the UK as well. So the next track is The Price of Gas. It does say Price of Gasoline on Spotify and on the re-release, but it goes by The Price of Gas. Okay, so as the album starts to get a bit mellow, this track picks up the pace. The thing about this song, though, is that how well it aged, because back then, like I said, he's criticizing the war of Afghanistan and how it's affect gas prices, and that once the war ends, it'll start going back down. And it connects with me a lot because literally it's what's happening in America. With the war in Ukraine right now, gas prices have been going up, and people have just been going hysterical because of these high gas prices, and they just felt like they don't deserve these prices to go up. And it's just crazy how relatable this song is. Just I can't say he's ahead of this time because it literally happened and this is his point of view, but it's just so it just ages well, you know? So after that, it's So Here We Are. And actually, despite it being mellow, I like this track a lot more compared to the other ones because it just feels comfortable listening to it. You know, like, going off tangent, like, I used to watch a lot of Fuse TV, and I saw like a lot of snowboarding, BMX, like skateboarding videos growing up, and they would play a lot of indie tracks, and this song is just so indie that I just got lost into it, you know, like, I just let the song take over me and just makes me feel relaxed. And the funny thing too is that this song is literally about ecstasy, so yeah. He just does a good job expressing these emotions, and that's the thing I do like about Bloc Party, is that they just get emotional, you know? Like, you feel their heart and you feel their passion towards making music, and that's what I don't see a lot in a lot of dance tracks, because the whole point is to get you moving the easiest way. Bloc Party does a good job getting you moving, you know, gets you pumped up, and I can see why people enjoy listening to them. It's just not much else I can talk about it, but it's comfortable. I like it a lot. Okay, so next is Luno. It's another track with a sick bass riff, And the drum work is also pretty technical too. Like I said, I'm gushing over the drum work. I just love it so much. You know, I just like want to go deeper into it with the production and all that. Like the song is about how people change, but in negative ways. They just do a good job making you feel angry and how you should actually do something about your lifestyle if it starts affecting negative people, you know? It's just, Kelly just likes to talk about human emotions and how humans act. Solid track, I like it, you know, it goes heavy, upbeat. That's what Bloc Party does best. Okay, so after that we have Plans, another mellow track. The ironic thing about it is that it feels so mellow, but the song itself is a criticism on how people are lazy and they should actually get up and do something. And it's kind of, like I said, it's the reason why it's ironic is because if they actually want to deliver that message, having it being upbeat makes a lot more sense, because it actually can get you get up and do something, you know? A lot of people who do exercise tend to use songs that are much higher tempo. It gives you that adrenaline, right? This song doesn't really give you that adrenaline rush, which not a bad thing about the track itself. I just find it funny. It's like an observation I have with it. So after that, the last track I have is Compliments, and this one is like the most depressing I've heard, right? It's like the most mellowest, most depressing song, and it's because it's about how routine is a detriment to society and how you should actually break it, because a lot of people form bad habits and they really can't break it off. But yeah, that's the final track. They've done release more tracks, but I'm not gonna get to that. I'm just gonna give you my thoughts on what I listened to and give you my final conclusion. So this is a strong start as a debut album for Bloc Party, and I can see why the band became huge after that. Like, a lot of people do like the album. Like, it does a good job playing with your emotions, you know? You feel anxious, you feel depressed, you feel mellowed out, you feel relaxed, you feel upbeat. The one thing I do like I said, I mentioned before, is Kelly's accent. It makes him stand out. And that's a good thing, especially when you're working with indie music, because those guys are known for standing out, for being unorthodox. Drum work and bass work, it's just, the bass is just so groovy, the drum tracks are so technical, and I really have to give Matt Tong credit for the drum work, and because like, apparently with the band, right, he auditioned to it, and I feel like they let him stay. I heard that he's not with the band anymore. I've done a bit of research in the future tracks, and like, he's not with the band anymore, because of course the band ended up splitting. They're back together, but I think Kelly is like the only original member. If I get the information wrong, just leave it in the comments. But this is one of those albums where you can recommend it to a friend and there's going to be something that they like, because that's what Bloc Party intended with their music, is to make something, at least one thing, that someone likes. Like IGN usually says, there's a bit of something for everyone. So my final grade for this album is an A-. You know, it might sound like a shocker, but let me explain myself. I think this is a really good album, but I don't think that it's one of my all-time favorites. This wouldn't make the cut, but it's on a kind of a small margin, right? I can see why people like this album, I can see why people like this band, and they do have catchy tracks, and there are some songs that I do enjoy listening to, and I kind of got addicted to listening to the album because of that. The mellow tracks kind of disengaged me with the entire album, because I felt like it had a strong start, but then it climaxed too early, and it just went on a downward slope afterwards. It's not a bad thing, right? Because each track is pretty solid. Like, there hasn't been a bad track, but not every track got me lost in the sound, you know? Like, I had urges to skip. Like I said, it took me a couple of sessions to actually ingest this entire album, but I do like it nonetheless. It's more of a nitpick rather than actual criticism. Like, if you just listen to half of the album would still deliver. But like I said, I tend to listen to the entirety because I want to see what like the artist intends. I want to have the whole experience and all that. How well did this album do commercially? It sold platinum in the UK, but I want to make something clear, right? Apparently, certified platinum in the US and certified platinum in the UK are two different measurements. In America, with RIA, selling like 1 million copies certifies you platinum, while in the UK, selling 500,000 copies is considered platinum, while in the US 500,000 is gold. That's how it usually is. It's pretty rare for like a band overseas to cross over unless they're like really huge. Like they just have to be really, really huge, like Beatles. So in charts, it peaked at number 3 in both the UK and Irish album charts, while reaching 114 in the US Billboard 200. So before I finish this video, I just wanted to just make something clear, right? So this was a request from one of my viewers, also one of the members of my Discord, and I wanted to start a series and keep going forward with it. And I kind of need the help with people who watch this video. So if you already reached at the end of the video, like, don't turn it off because I got some important information. So if you want to suggest an album for me to review, leave it in the comments down below. And if it's something that I'm familiar with, most likely I'm gonna review it. And if it's out of my comfort zone, don't worry, because I'll still give it a review. It's just that the issue is that I have to listen to it more times to let it settle and actually give my honest thoughts. Because like I said with this album, listening the first time, I kind of got lost, but then listening to more and more, I kept getting hooked. So I'm gonna have to like do a lot more work with something I'm not familiar with. But I do want to start these reviews with something I'm more comfortable. There's gonna be some reviews where I've done albums that I want to review myself, and there's gonna be album reviews that I'm already familiar with, and it just makes it easier. I just want to let the audience know what I like and what I don't like first, and then I'll work with something out of my zone. So if you think that I'm ignoring your request, I'm not. I'll try my best to read every request, and I'll try to deliver as much as I can. So if you made it to the end of this video, I really do appreciate you like sitting through and just hearing my honest thoughts. And I really hope that like we just keep going with this journey, you know? Like I want to keep going with this. This is just a lot of fun. It's just something I really want to just take seriously. So will I do reviews of games again? Probably, yeah. Just that I feel like I really want to do music first, and then I just want to stray off, you know? This is just, not a lot of people are still watching my videos anymore. Like, as much as I had a high sub count, I don't get that much attention anymore because I've just been inactive. So, like, I feel like I can just do whatever I want with this channel right now. I'm just not going to make it a huge spectacle yet, but we'll see. We'll see how this video does and see how this series goes. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Peace.